Emperors Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian are collectively remembered to history as the Flavian dynasty, a trio of emperors that brought a degree of stability to the Roman Empire after years of turmoil and civil war. Rising from his humble equestrian roots, Vespasian defied the odds and rose to the most prominent and prestigious position within the Roman Empire, and his family would rule for over 27 years. Recently, these three emperors have resurfaced into mainstream popularity by being portrayed as central characters in the historical TV show Those About to Die. And in this video, we will delve deep into contemporary sources from ancient Rome to better understand how emperors Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian actually died, and hopefully provide a degree of clarity on how accurate the final moments of these emperors are depicted within the series. But before we begin, don't forget, if you want to learn more about the death of some of history's greatest figures, then subscribe to my channel Historical Exit. The first emperor's death that we will be doing an in-depth analysis of will be Vespasian, the founder of the Flavian dynasty. Born in the year 9 AD, Titus Flavius Vespasianus would be born into an equestrian rank family, but his ambitions were lofty, and he would join the military in 27 AD in the hopes of rising up the ranks and gaining fame and glory. And in the end, he was hoping to develop a powerful reputation to perhaps even embark on a political career once his military services had come to an end. However, Vespasian excelled in the battlefield, and he would quickly establish himself as a reliable, competent, and intelligent military commander, especially during the Jewish revolt of 66 AD. Shortly thereafter, the turbulent year of the four emperors would occur, and Vespasian would utilize his political acumen, military might, and intuition to successfully commandeer the throne of the Roman Empire, and be the ultimate victor amongst a number of contenders for the curule chair. Vespasian would rule effectively for 10 years, and in the year 79 AD he would meet his end after having ruled successfully as emperor for over 10 years. But how exactly did this elderly monarch pass away, and what can we delve from ancient historians about the death of the founder of the Flavian dynasty? There are three contemporary historians that make reference to the death of Emperor Vespasian: Suetonius, Cassius Dio, and Tacitus. Additionally, there's also a high degree of uniformity across these three sources about Vespasian passing away from natural causes, which is not surprising considering that Vespasian was 69 years old at the time of his death. Suetonius' The 12 Caesars provides the most detail in regards to the death of Emperor Vespasian, stating that Vespasian was suffering from severe bouts of diarrhea in his last days, and that they could possibly have been symptoms of a more severe underlying condition such as dysentery. However, Cassius Dio and Tacitus provide no discourses on the cause of death for Vespasian in their works, with both sources simply confirming that Vespasian passed away from natural causes, and that he wanted to die standing up, which is a discourse also presented by Suetonius, who states that Vespasian said to those around him that an emperor should die standing, and he attempted to rise from his bed shortly before his death. So we have three ancient Roman texts which uniformly agree that Emperor Vespasian passed away from natural causes, and there is very little evidence to support any other discourse in regards to this death. After Vespasian's passing, his elder son Titus would become the next Roman emperor, but his time as emperor would be short, as he would pass away on September 13, 81 AD, after only a paltry 2 years on the throne. Again, the three primary sources of Suetonius, Cassius Dio, and Tacitus are our best historical references when attempting to unravel the unexpected and enigmatic death of Emperor Titus. Suetonius and Cassius Dio provide similar accounts on Emperor Titus becoming severely ill while he was traveling to the Sabine territory, and his health would rapidly deteriorate from this fever-based illness, which would leave him dead soon thereafter. What this illness potentially could have been, or what symptoms besides the fever did Titus suffer with, are never elaborated upon by either historian, making the process of actually identifying a particular illness as the cause of death for Titus nearly impossible. Interestingly though, both Cassius Dio and Suetonius highlight the discourse that Titus's brother and heir apparent may have somehow been responsible for getting Titus infected with an illness, or having constructed an elaborate story to cover up Titus's assassination. However, it is important to emphasize that neither historian provides any strong evidence for this discourse of assassination, and that the Roman historian Tacitus conversely makes no reference at all to Domitian's involvement in Titus's death. So although it is plausible that Domitian may have been assassinated by his brother, it is a discourse which will forever be unverifiable, resulting in a great deal of ambiguity in regards to the death of Titus, who perished either from illness or assassination. The final and most controversial ruler of the Flavian dynasty, Domitian, had the longest and most turbulent rule of the three emperors, reigning for 15 years before meeting his demise on September 18, 96 AD. The death of Domitian is present in at least 4 contemporary historical texts, and all of them possess a high degree of correlation in regards to the death of the emperor. It is important to highlight that Domitian was strongly opposed to the Senate and severely curbed their power, and was needlessly cruel and merciless to the senatorial class, resulting in him being despised by many of the Roman elite and some of the most powerful and richest members of Roman society. Therefore, it shouldn't be inconceivable to comprehend why Domitian was assassinated in 96 AD. Suetonius provides an in-depth outline of the events that occurred during the assassination, stating that one of Domitian's servants named Stephanus gained audience with the emperor, stating that he had uncovered a plot to assassinate him. When bringing forth the document to Domitian, Stephanus quickly stabbed the emperor in the groin, but Domitian would not be so easily defeated, and would resist against his would-be assailant, forcing 4 other plotters to join the frenzy, and Domitian would eventually be stabbed 7 times, bleeding to death. Who was the political mastermind behind this assassination remains ambiguous, as no party or individual ever took credit for the murder of Domitian. But many sources initially believed that Domitian's wife, Domitia Longina, was the lead conspirator in the plot, but this viewpoint is now widely refuted, and the main conspirator of this assassination is purported to be Nerva, the successor of the Roman Empire after Domitian's death. Nerva would be proclaimed emperor by the Senate hours after the assassination, making his involvement in the plot highly probable. So, according to a range of ancient Roman historians, no other discourse other than assassination is presented as the cause of death for Emperor Domitian, and the fact that he survived 15 years on the throne with the number of powerful enemies he had is truly remarkable in itself. But to conclude, we have reviewed the deaths of Emperors Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, and how the decades-long rule of the Flavian dynasty came to an abrupt and bloody end. So let me know in the comments down below how you believe Titus may have died, as there is still a large level of mystery surrounding his death. And also let me know which other historical figures' deaths you would like me to cover next. And as always, if you want to learn more about the deaths of some of history's greatest figures, subscribe to my channel Historical Exit, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.